This is David Krusner. I run the consulting and solutions organization for iGate Global Solutions. My role in iGate is to look at each of the verticals that we focus and concentrate our services in and develop a combination of strategic consulting services and service offerings, as well as building integrated tech and ops based solutions that ultimately get to a business outcomes arrangement for our clients. And these solutions are end-to-end process solutions with the integration of operations on top of typically single platforms that are leading edge for the verticals or the micro verticals in which we serve. Let me stop there just because I lost my train of thought. So, okay.
Just pick up what,
Right.
Today we'd like to talk about, what I'm here to discuss, or something like that.
Right. Okay, tell me when you're ready.
Yep.
Oh, go. So today I've been asked to explain to you a little bit about why business outcomes, why integrated tech and ops or ITOPS based offerings, and there are a couple things that I would want to mention as part of that. First and foremost, I strongly believe, based on my experience, based on my conversations with CXOs that we get the chance to play with, is that the old engagement model of time and materials is truly dead. I would say it's well, even beyond passé, it's truly dead. And the new engagement model needs to be one that is more value-based and more in line with not only the customer's value equation, but in line with where the markets, especially the markets or verticals that we serve, and where our customers are going, i.e. their strategy, their go-to-market strategy, their execution process, etc. So the new model then becomes what I believe iGate is leading with, which is an integrated tech and ops and outcomes-based model. In other words, pay for results. How we get there is through the integrated tech and ops model. What that does for our clients, or if you look at the difference between old model and what we are now calling the new engagement model, the outcomes-based model, is the old model really started with the idea of let's focus on the inputs. How many FTEs, how many subject matter experts, how many true consultants that can you bring on the client site to actually deliver results. And at some point it became on-site or offshore to create more what we call the labor arbitrage advantage. But even that is commodity today. And if you look at the new model is really moving from almost an end-to-end spectrum, where the old model, time and materials on the left, to something down a continuum more towards the right, where it's really outcomes based, not even output based, and in the middle is more output based. And if you think about it, time and materials really is at best all about how many people can we put on the client side or on the client engagement. But moving more to the right, it becomes either fixed price, which is where we've moved a lot of our customers just at the very beginning of this process or continuum, to something more output based, which is pay by the drink or transaction based pricing. What we ultimately are going to drive, and where we're driving customers to today, is outcomes based. Outcomes meaning pay for results, where we truly are doing work for customers for things that they value. And I would underscore the words things our customers value, because ultimately that is really what a true, I'll call it, partnership relationship is about versus just supplier relationship. And as you move from the left part of that continuum, i.e. the old model, to the right-hand side of the continuum, the new model, you do a couple of things that I think are truly important for both the customer, in this case, as well as for iGate. One is we become more invested in our clients' outcomes and what they value, which means typically a more shared risk environment. So shared risk from a technology perspective, shared risk from a process execution point of view, or maybe just even market risk at some point. Because some of these outcomes may be very internally based for our customers today, i.e. reducing cycle time for them, reducing cost structures, or even moving them from fixed to variable cost structures, all that enable them from a higher level of productivity or a lower cost structure perspective, to ultimately, or down the timeline a little bit, to something that where outcomes are truly more external based for the customer, i.e. they go to market faster, they produce products or services faster for their markets. So now we're focused on our customer's customer. And I think that's an important perspective to keep in mind, because that's where not only are the clients leveraging our capabilities, platforms, services, etc., for enabling capabilities or value-added services, but also now we're actually helping them make more money, creating lifts in their revenue, lifts in their capabilities or productivity levels that take them to market faster, etc. So that's the capability that we want to bring to the table. So shared risk, which also sometimes equates to shared investment. Shared investment, which means we may bring on capabilities or service offerings to them to help them learn or develop what the outcomes that they either don't know today but want to achieve, or know what they want to achieve but don't know how to get there. And that's important from us, because that's really what we refer to as the outcomes-based journey, where we may start small in some sort of analytical or process design or process assessment or even technology assessment focus, and move that to more of a platform-based focus or an end-to-end process-based focus. And I think that's important, because in order to do true business outcomes-based work, we will have to get engaged in an end-to-end process. So, for example, in most manufacturing or across most pharma life cycle or life sciences-based companies, there are common processes like order to cash, procure to pay, hire to retire, account to report. These are end-to-end processes you probably find on virtually any company in virtually any vertical or micro-vertical. So having the platform on how to execute those efficiently, effectively, in a value-added way makes us, one, extremely valuable to the company, but at some point even valuable to the vertical or micro-vertical, which is where we will get into things like shared services types of offerings, or ITOPS examples that are shared across multiple companies and maybe even an entire vertical, micro-vertical. So shared risk, shared investment, which also, and again, the value proposition I think that's ultimately most important to iGate is the idea or the opportunity to move from just a pure supplier relationship to that of a truly partnership-based relationship, where there may be even situations that we are not known for or particularly good at today, but as we learn with the client, call it co-developed intellectual property or co-created intellectual capital, that becomes ultimately the two of us either going to market together, as I said, the customer's customer, or it could be the two of us working together to create a higher level of efficiency, productivity, or value-based arrangement inside our client base. So those are sort of the mechanics from my perspective of why business outcomes, why ITOPS, and what does it truly deliver for us, our customers, as well as us as iGate.
Good, that's good.
So the advantage that iGate brings in a business outcomes-based approach to the market that we are ultimately delivering today across all our verticals, across all the micro-verticals, is also the opportunity from our customers' perspective to really help them deal with or address variations in supply as well as variations in demand, especially when you think about the economic climate that we live on a global scale today, whether it be North America-based, European-based, or Asia-Pacific. We are truly dealing in some pretty volatile economic conditions. A business outcomes approach, even an output-based approach, really allows us as a supplier, partner, and ultimate delivery of services to the verticals, micro-verticals, and customers we play in to deal with variations in supply, variations in demand, where demand may go up and therefore it's only an incremental cost to them or our customers in terms of the services that we're providing, or demand may go down. In some cases in today's world it's a very steep down, which allows us then again to deal with lower cost opportunities for our customers. I think the other opportunity that ITOPS specifically brings, and the business outcomes approach, is not only helping our clients reduce their capital expenditure base, which today is being cut anyway because of the economic climate and conditions we live in, but also move that capital expenditure to something more OPEX based. And within OPEX, we have the opportunity to move very fixed based cost structures to that of more variable based cost structures. And even over time, we would actually, in most cases, even tell our customers that we can, through process I'll call it process automation, or through process efficiencies, or through technology enhancements and improvements, reduce that variable cost structure time over time, or quarter over quarter, or month over month, depending on how that should work out. The reason we can do that, or what we call that, is market minus versus cost plus. And market minus meaning as the market shifts up or down, we have the ability to shift with that market and keep costs at a lower and more variabilized structure, which I think is critical for customers, especially in today's environment. So that's important to us. I think as we get into very specific solutions at either the vertical level or even the micro vertical, so within banking and financial services, I'm talking about capital markets versus consumer versus retail versus commercial banking. And we have solutions that we are developing today that are either coming and ideated from iGate out to the customers, or what we call outside in, which is from the customers or the markets, and listening to the noise in the market and what it's telling us about which solutions are really required, either at a vertical or micro vertical level. And we have a very specific process. We refer to it as the ISDF process or framework, which is our venture capital process across all of iGate that allows us to determine which solutions or ideation opportunities do we want to take and invest in and actually develop and then take to market and commercialize in the marketplace. So the ISDF process has a number of different criteria that we really look hard at to make sure that these are investments that the company should be making. One is it scalable, repeatable, and predictable in terms of what the market is looking for in this type of solution? The second is the solution itself going to drive a lot more intellectual property or capital for iGate? So, for example, we are building today a solution called the Integrated Development Platform, which is a single platform that will cut across all of the R&D space in pharma companies, specifically in the clinical trials process. This is a game-changing solution for the entire micro-vertical known as clinical trials for pharma companies, or the R&D processes. What's important about what we're doing is we're building this on an Oracle platform. Our role in this particular solution is not to become a reseller of Oracle, but in essence what we've done is we've built very specific modules on top of Oracle's capability that pharma companies find not only value added, but critical to how they go to market. So it will reduce cycle time in the FDA process for them. It will increase levels of efficiency and productivity that they have never seen in their own environments and their ability to develop on their own since the dawn of time. So what we're bringing in this case is the ability to put that intellectual property. Our number is somewhere between 60 to 80% more on top of any platform that we're either partnering with or developing. And that's another point. That's the third point. We will probably partner with a lot of the leading edge platform capabilities versus build on our own. Why? First reason is because we need some speed to market ourselves. So we can't afford to spend months, if not years, developing some of these solutions. And there are certain players out there that we've been able to identify and create alliances with that will take us to market and increase our speed to market vis-a-vis these platforms. And that's critical to us. The fourth, and I think also very critical criteria for us, is the amount of scale that we can develop in terms of the revenues that we generate for our customers as well as for iGate in these solutions. Our magic number is probably something in the 25 million to maybe even 100 million if you look at a couple of our key solutions like reference data systems and the third-party administration types of solutions. These are very big platforms handling extremely large volumes of activity for our customers, which means large scale, repeatable, and predictable, which again, as you know, is our first criteria. So that's critical for us. So we have the ability to build these kinds of solutions, and again, they become really shared services because they're offerings and solutions that we can take to multiple companies, again, either in the micro vertical or in the vertical itself.
Let's go to an example.
Okay. All right.
Like, so you can say, well, you can even preface it. We took the SDF process and we applied it to da-da, or here's a good example of how we.
One of the probably most mature solutions we have today is something we call TPA. This is a third-party administration claims processing transaction-based platform that actually we've developed over the course of many years and continue to improve. The platform is actually referred to as the CHCS platform, and we are now enhancing that platform with a new partner, with a new alliance partner, in this case called Inspro. And the reason that this solution ultimately came to us and why it went through what I call the ISDF process was because of the large volume of transaction processing and the number of disparate systems that our clients have to not only invest in, but maintain, and over time become obsolete, which makes it even more difficult for them because they have to put more capital X, or CapEx as we refer to it, or capital expenditure, into the maintenance of those systems, but also into making sure that those systems will continue to operate as prescribed. Because at the end of the day, these large insurance carriers that have, whether it's life insurance policies or other products and services that sit on these platforms, have over time developed platform over platform and have to maintain them for their customers.
Let's pick it up at I think we're talking about platform development.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So, okay, let me ask you this. So when you said platform development, you threw me for a second.
You just mentioned something about platform. I can just, let me just.
So probably one of the best examples that we have in terms of its maturity and its, I'll call it, market focus and what's resonating in the market in particular today is in our IHL vertical, which specifically in this case is for the insurance part of the vertical. We have a number of large, and I mean Fortune 100 in some cases, if not Fortune 500 clients that have hundreds of thousands, in some cases even millions of transactions that they have to process for customers that are referred to as either closed block or open block insurance policies and claims that they have to administer. The solution that we have in order to deal with this is a combination of a single platform with the processes that fit on top of it. This solution is our TPA solution, third-party administration solution. And this is a solution that has gone through what, again, I refer to as the ISDF, or Innovation Solutions Development Framework. And it's gone through because not only over time have we had to enhance, enable, and improve our platform in order to deliver on the end-to-end capabilities for our customers, but this is a platform that is not only saving our clients lots of money, but it's increasingly improving their cycle time, their productivity levels within these very large transaction-based processing exercises or services that they have to offer for their customers, which are everything from individuals to other enterprises that they serve. The key for us is that we have built a platform that allows our customers to take many disparate systems, applications, and versions of their own platforms into one. And we literally come in with a single platform, that's the integrated technology, along with the operations on top of it, where we are actually not only servicing claims, but doing all the reporting for all the insurance policies of a particular customer's client base, which again could be in the millions, if not multi-millions. So we have the ability in this case not only to reduce the CapEx or the capital expenditure for our customer in maintaining old systems, disparate systems, or even in some cases obsolete systems, but we also have the ability to move their operational expenditure, or their OpEx, if you will, from a very fixed cost structure to that of a very variable cost structure. Ultimately, we end up not only saving them money and cycle time, but we actually, and the biggest outcome in this case, is reduce medical loss ratios on a per policy basis for the insurance client, in this case, customer base. What we've been able to do, and as a result, we're actually considered someone who could actually deliver insurance capabilities across 50 states. And as it would be, in this case, insurance companies are regulated on a state-by-state basis, but they're also regulated on a federal basis. So we literally have the ability to create a shared services that cuts across 50 states, in some cases at some point different countries, different continents. But the critical piece is what we bring to the table, which is an outcomes-based integrated tech and ops solution for, in this case, the insurance micro vertical or vertical, depending on how you look at it. So it's a value-added service. We address over 31 carriers across the United States and North America. We have the ability to deliver services today in our TPA solution across all of Canada and the United States. Eventually, we plan to be able to deliver this across all of Europe, and then beyond Europe in what we call rest of the world. So this is a very mature solution. Again, it's a solution that drives higher levels of productivity, higher levels of efficiency, reduces cycle time for our customers, higher levels of quality in how they service over millions of customers on their behalf. But also it allows us to really truly get to an outcomes-based, pay-by-results only solution, where we are ultimately saving the customer time, money, and risk.
If you had to summarize, ITOPS, so, if you had to encapsulate, the real key benefits of ITOPS, in 45 seconds, what would that be? Based on what you said here, this is something that we could sort of either add at the end or...
Yeah, I can do that. Okay. So in summary for me, what does ITOPS or business outcomes mean for iGate and the markets we serve? It really comes simply down to pay for results. But pay for results where we're looking at and working with our customers on an end-to-end process capability, where we're bringing in very efficient platforms that could be shared not only across one customer, but across multiple customers. But on top of that, not only from a single technology platform capability, we can run all the operations, which is the ITOPS approach. What does that do? It helps our clients share in risk, share investment, share in outcomes, and ultimately move us from a supplier relationship with our customers to that of a partnership-based relationship with our customers, which delivers much more value to the customer base and the customer and clientele we serve, but also to the markets we serve. And to me, that's the only model in today's world that should be working, and not the old model.
Good.